IMHO 101JAMZ, and this is Sir Charles, Mrs. Max, Razor as always. And you know what? We have a little surprise for y'all. We have a special guest that is in town, no stranger to the streets of Charlottesville. You all have seen this young lady for a while, honing her craft. She is a great spoken word artist, a great author. Talking about Miss Camisha Jones. Camisha, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me.
Good, good. Now, thank you for coming on to In My Humble Opinion. Glad that you made time to stop by. So let the people know why you're here in Charlottesville today.
So I'm here because I've published my first collection of poems. It's called Flair, and when I thought about introducing the book into the world, I couldn't help but bring it to Charlottesville. This is where a lot of who I am as a poet developed through Verbs and Vibes open mic that was here for 3 years. So Flair is about my experiences of hearing loss and chronic pain. So it talks about the body's resilience and struggle and beauty, and it talks about how to kind of reconcile one's limitations given society seeing disability kind of as brokenness and finding the light within all of those things.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome, and that is powerful. And that's one thing that I appreciate about your work. It's always soulful to the core.
Thank you.
You definitely can feel it through the work. So as far as this was all new material. Is it some of a collection of other things, or what can people look forward to? And it's all new material.
It's new to Charlottesville. All written since having left to go to DC. I work at a national nonprofit called Split This Rock that focuses on poetry of provocation and witness. So moving into that huge position and also experiencing some escalations in my health conditions. These poems were how I got through that pain, and people started wanting to publish them and hear them, and now publish this collection of poems. And so how amazing is it that the thing that gives you the most difficulty and pain can become a platform and an open door. Right. It's a huge blessing.
Yeah. So who are some of the places and people that you've shared this with, the book so far?
Well, the first place where I work, Split This Rock, we run a Poem of the Week series. And so the very first poem that got out into the world, called Ode to the Chronically Ill Body, it was published as a Poem of the Week. And from there, people read that and asked, can you send me a poem for this other publication online? So Rogue Agent, Typo. I don't know if people know the name Jennifer Bartlett, but she's kind of a pivotal person in terms of disability movement in poetry. She asked me to be a part of that collection in Typo. I have been at different places in DC performing as well, and recently got a fellowship from the Loft Literary Center in Minneapolis. The fellowship is to focus on communities that accommodate people with hearing loss and deafness, for poets and for poetry communities. So they've given me money and confidence to just spend the year focusing on how to make my poetry more accessible, both in terms of how I write it, but also in terms of how I share it. And the most recent, I've been asked to be the Lapine Fellow at Franklin and Marshall University, I think college actually. So I'll be going there in October for Invisible Illness Week to share poems and to visit a class, and I don't know, be treated special.
Soak it in. So how did you come up with the title for your book?
Well, Flair is kind of a play on words. Both of the conditions that I have, fibromyalgia and Meniere's disease, they have flare-ups. And so it's a reference to the fact that I've experienced all these flares, but it's also talking about how that word also implies fire, or light, or warmth, and all of those things are lessons from the pain as well.
Yeah. Now, as far as getting the book, and for ways to support you? Is there a social media page or website?
Well, you can follow me. I'm on Facebook as Poet Camisha Jones. I'm on Twitter as One Camisha, capital C. And Camisha spelled Camisha, and on Instagram, One Camisha, lowercase c. The book can be bought from Finishing Line Press. So if you go to their website and search my name, it'll come right up.
Okay. Would it be asking you too much before you leave to share a piece with us, Camisha?
It would not be asking too much. I would love to do that, and just thank you for making time for me to share this book with you.
Excuse me, Camisha, do we clap or do we snap fingers? I mean,
whatever you feel.
I'm not cultured as these two right here, this razor. Let me know what I got to do here.
I love it all. So whatever you feel. In DC, we give instructions of ways to support. He's doing the awkward giraffe. It's hard to explain over the radio.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that. What was that?
Social media,
What dance was that for the kids?
Oh, the ball.
Yeah, ball. That's okay. But with the other hand, y'all.
It is one the kids do when they don't have words. They just throw their hand up to the awkward giraffe, or they make that sound you make when you eat a really good piece of chocolate.
Okay, I know
so
that.
whatever works, I like it. So this poem's called Praise Song for the Body. Praise for the body that takes pain and names it survival, that drinks anguish without ruling it bitter, contains the daggers of sickness and bends them into a good home, a shelter, an escape route. Call this body miracle. Call it sanctuary. Name its ghost, but refuse to believe it is haunted. Refuse to give up on hope in all of its helium, its elevating power to raise this weighted vessel into a thing of light.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Camisha Jones. Tell the people once again the name of the book and where to get it.
Name of the book is Flair. You can purchase it at Finishing Line Press, and you can follow me on Facebook as on Facebook as Poet Camisha Jones, on Twitter as One Camisha with a capital C, on Instagram as One Camisha lowercase c, and Camisha is spelled Camisha.
All right. Well, you know what?
Thank you so much.
So you keep up the great work, and we'll be following you. And anytime you want to call in from DC, you're in the area, want to stop by, feel free.
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis, only on 101.3 JAMZ.